It's pretty safe to say that you're probably a Ruger guy then, right?
Yeah. I do enjoy my Rugers.
Colby here with Rugged Tactical, where every trigger pull tells a story and responsible gun ownership is a way of life. So today we're at the last day of the Tulsa, Oklahoma gun show. And things are starting to settle down a little bit. I think people are starting to go home. For me, being here, it's been a great experience. It's the first time I've been here. Truly has been incredible and amazing. I have a very special guest right now with me. This is Steve. Steve, would you like to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Been chasing guns and enjoying guns since I was 9 years old. Daddy let me shoot his little Ruger single six. In fact, it looked kind of like this one right here. Like this little gun right here, and Dad let me shoot it. And honestly, I was shooting at ground squirrels. I'd probably missed the side of a barn. I shot it 4 times, and Dad finally took it away. I think it was out of bullets or something, but I turned around and I decided at that point, I'm going to get me one of them Rugers. I got to have one, you know. Yeah. And I memorized that it was a Ruger. It wasn't another brand. And so at 9 years old, I always told myself that. Well, I become 16 years old. Across from where I worked was a store that had a little gun shop in it, and he had a Ruger in there, and they had a bunch of Rugers. He had one that just lit my board, so I bought it, and it came with a made in Mexico quick draw rig, and it was $104. And people say, "Oh, that's $104. Oh, heck, that's cheap." But when you're making $1.45 an hour, that was a dang expensive gun.
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
And he let me put it on layaway. Yeah. That would took me a whole summer, slipping over there and giving him $10, $5, and he was really, the owner of the place was really patient with me. Then when I finally got it all done, he says, "Now, Steve, you know, you realize your dad's got to come and fill out the paperwork for you to get this gun." And I go, "I know." I talked to my dad about it, and Dad knew that I was getting it. So at that point, we got it all paid off, and I got Dad, and we went over and filled out the paperwork, got the gun, and I was just excited. And Dad had his old gun like this, took it out of the box. It was brand new in the box, a nice black shiny box, red end, you know. Took the instruction manual out of it, stuck it in my car, and we went out west of Salt Lake City and set it up against a post because we didn't have something to shoot at. So we shot the little emblem out of the box. And to this day, I kick myself when I think of that thought that I just ruined that box. Now that I'm a collector and enjoy a gun enthusiast, I'm like, oh man.
As far as collecting goes, then box can make a huge difference.
Oh yeah.
Part of the collectability. So don't shoot the little emblems out of those boxes. Make sure to keep your box in pristine condition if you have a gun that is a collectible, for sure.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, just about every gun is collectible. Rifle, handgun, shotgun, whatever, but if you got the box, it's a little bit more desirable. You've been here this whole weekend. Yeah. How many times you heard people come by and say, "You got a gun?" "Yeah, son, you got a box?" "No, I don't." "Okay, you know, well, you got the box?" "Oh, hey," like that little Bearcat we had come through with that 50th anniversary. "You got the box?" "Oh, okay, let's talk about this, you know."
Yeah.
Makes a big difference. And that's the neat part about it is, and people when they come by, and how many times you hear people ask, "Here, you got the gun?" "Nope, it's got no box." "Oh, okay, you know." Don't ruin the box.
Yeah. You shot the box, so you don't have the box anymore, no. But that's pretty significant, being able to get that gun. And
well, the thing too was people think you get a gun and you're automatically Wyatt Earp, you know, or Matt Dillon. I'm a Deadeye, but no, it takes a lot of work, a lot of practice. My dad gave me some few good tips on how to shoot and what to do. And Dad took in state competitions on the West Coast. He placed a few times, so he knew what he was talking about. And I learned a lot of things from my dad, which I passed on to my kids, how to shoot and safety. You know, that's the first thing I teach them is being safe.
Yeah. And just so our viewers know, we are at a gun show and all of these guns have been cleared, and not only are they cleared, but I also see zip ties. What do the zip ties do?
Well, the zip ties for 2 reasons. Number one, we make sure that there's no ammo in the gun. But that tells you, number one, who's looking at the gun, it's nothing in it. Number two, you don't have a person just indiscriminately come up and start moving and playing with the gun, some people don't know what they're doing, and it can scratch it and mess it up or whatever. And the other part about having the gun tied is you know it's safe.
Yeah.
And that's the important part, is safety for the public. And it also makes you feel more comfortable. I've been to shows where guys behind me got more guns than I have laying out on the table, and it makes me feel more comfortable that the gun is not in a position that he's behind me and the gun goes off.
When I came to this show, it's truly an experience. It's just incredibly massive, very big, very large, and to be able to have a show like this for somebody that's not used to guns, very foreign to guns, it could be perhaps a little bit disconcerting for him to be able to see this. But to me, the level of respect, almost like a reverence here. It's not crazy. There's not a bunch of noise or anything. The only way I can describe it is like a reverence. Yeah. Respect from one to another as transactions are happening. And you have a display here associated with ROCS, which is the Ruger
Owner and Collector Society.
And so there's displays, there's things to look at, there's educational opportunities to be able to learn and grow, increase in knowledge with regards to guns.
I think there's 16 or 17 displays here this year for ROCS, and we've had up to 22.
How many years then that you've been doing this?
I came here the first time in 1997. I've been coming here every year since. I've enjoyed it, obviously, or I wouldn't be coming here anymore. But the thing I've enjoyed a lot of is learning. I come here, I didn't know a lot about certain guns and people, and I'm in the gun show and I see a gun and I go, what's this gun? What is it? Tell me about it. The respect that, as you mentioned, and that people are willing to share what that gun is. I've heard you talking to some guys. Behind every gun, there's a story. And half the time when a guy comes by and talks to you, a lot of them have a smile on their face. There's a story behind every one of the guns.
Absolutely.
And a smile. If I can say it this way, I've yet to run into a varmint hunter that you start talking about shooting and hunting varmints. That smile just gets bigger and their eyes start glowing, and it's like, it's a different world, But the neat part about it is I'm starting to see younger kids come through now. Guys coming through with their families and their wife. You've seen that here. You've seen kids be here.
Absolutely.
That lady just came by here with a little one in a stroller, Yeah. And that's what it's all about.
Absolutely. Definitely making those connections, those relationships. To see young families doing that as well is really neat.
There's a lot of people talk about, fishing, hunting and that, it's dying off. Well, whose fault is that? It's the parents' fault for not involving their kids, Take them out and do something instead of stay home and locked up in your house playing the video games, whatever that is. Get some exercise, learning about things, and having a respect for a firearm.
There's other aspects other than shooting. Do you have guns that you shoot?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, but then you're also a collector.
I appreciate the craftsmanship and the uniqueness of how that gun works. I guess it's just me curious, but how does this gun work? Why did the guy do it this way? As you saw at the gun show earlier, a guy pulled out an engraved gun. It's just a beautiful piece of art. I personally couldn't take that out hunting with me. That's just a beautiful piece of art. That is the neat part, that's what the guy liked.
There are some guns that you wouldn't want to shoot because of the craftsmanship, because of the art, because of the beauty, because of perhaps what it represents. And those are pieces that you might put on the mantle of, or like in a shadow box in your home on display, and to be able to appreciate it.
And kind of like I talked about shooting Dad's gun. My father had passed away in 2019. I've been able to get my father's gun. It's been handed down to me by my dad before his passing, but to me is just, I guess you might say, the Holy Grail to me. To be able to hold that gun that was my father's, and I was 9 years old, and now I'm 69 years old. It's been a few years to be able to hold that and see it, and the memories and the smile I get. Yeah. And I hope more people get to enjoy that in their lives too. Yeah. I'm sure there's things that get handed down from mom to daughter that they get the same smile and enjoyment as I. Could be a car, a grandpa's car got handed down to you, but that's the whole thing, is taking pride in your heritage.
My sentiments exactly. Before my grandpa passed away, they had like a drawing, and they drew out a hat and distributed the guns to the grandsons. And so I inherited my grandpa's 270. And to me, it may be a 270 that might not have value or collectability to another person. But to me, it has a sentimental value. Exactly.
You can't put a price on that.
And you can't put it becomes priceless. Exactly.
Yep.
I'd like to take a moment to inform you of my Patreon page. If you would like to get on our mailing list, head over to patreon.com/ruggedtactical. You can click on the free membership icon and add your email information there. If you enjoy the content that I'm creating and want to help support the channel, consider joining one of my Patreon paid membership tiers. We have the Recruit, the Sharpshooter, and the Tactical Master tiers. Thanks for joining me today. Let's head back over to the gun show.
Tell me a little bit about ROCS.
We just had our 10th anniversary banquet last night, and I think it was fun. It was very knowledgeable.
Awesome. Yeah.
ROCS is Ruger Owner and Collector Society. It's a group of us Ruger collectors got together and organized a society. ROCS is a group of guys get together, put together shows, have awards, a digest that we get out 4 times a year. Very inexpensive. It's only $50 a year. The digest that we put together is full color. We have advertisements in it. Ruger company, they know who we are, and they help us. We represent them very positively, and we get together. Ruger has helped us in the past do our banquets. They've donated stuff to us that we have sold an auction or silent auction, because all we're doing is promoting it and the camaraderie of collecting and showing. You know, this show isn't one to put it on our table and say, sell it. No, we're trying to educate the public. Our displays are all here and they're for educational purposes only.
I truly have loved the displays. Just a wealth of information. It's pretty safe to say that you're probably a Ruger guy then, right?
Yeah. I do enjoy my Rugers.
Yeah.
I've always felt that Rugers, I can use the terminology, is the meat and potatoes of the industry to me. You can get them, they were inexpensive, they're durable, they got a lifetime warranty on them. Very seldom I've heard anybody say something bad about a Ruger. And if you have a problem with a Ruger, call Ruger, get a return authorization, send it to them, they send it back to you, and they'll fix it or they'll replace it or give you a credit voucher to purchase another Ruger.
Yeah.
How do you beat that?
Sounds like a pretty good deal to me.
Oh, yeah.
That's a testament to the product that they are producing.
Yeah.
If you can back up your product like that, then you know you've got something that's well made and that's of value.
And the other thing of the Rugers that I've learned as a collector and enthusiast and a person being around them is it's been fun. It's a good ride.
Yeah.
And I know Browning has done the same. I was a member of the Browning Collectors Association, and they're the same way, you know, how John Browning put it all together. Same thing.
He said something that's kind of interesting and quite profound, and he said it's a good ride.
Yep, it is.
And that's what it's all about in my mind is, you know, this life, you got to look at the aspects that brings you joy, that gives you that little twinkle in the eye. Whenever I grip a gun, whenever I handle a gun, I just get that warm fuzzy feeling in my body and my soul a little bit. It's just because it's fun. There's a lot of history, especially being here in the United States and enjoying the freedoms that we enjoy. There's nowhere else in the world like this. Shout out to our veterans. I always think about my grandpa who served in World War II and being truly grateful and appreciative of the sacrifices of those that came before us and that currently do sacrifice so that we can be here and do things like this. I want to thank you, Steve, for taking some time out of your day here at the
Wanenmacher's Gun Show.
The Wanenmacher's Gun Show.
Just to give you an idea, they say there's 4,200 tables here. In 2 days when you're at the gun show, if you just kind of do the math of what the hours open, it gives you about 45 seconds a table if you want to hit every table.
Yeah.
That's how big and massive it is.
Here I've got my little Ruger hat. And
about time.
I like it a lot. I've been brushing shoulders here with all the Ruger guys. Great guys. If you have a question about a gun, they'll tell you about it. If they don't know the question, they're going to find somebody that can help you and that will know the answer to that question.
Well, there's guys here that if you're like certain type of handguns, for instance, like 44 Super Blackhawks or any of the Blackhawk single sixes, I'm not the ultimate authority, but I know a lot about it. But there's guys here that know about the Ruger number ones and the M77s and some auto and 1022 guys, double action guys, you name it, they got it. And it's very interesting is, like, you probably show it, but the memorabilia and stuff that Ruger handed out for the Christmas parties and stuff. Intriguing things. There's guys that are in very knowledgeable about that.
Walking around with Joel and the guys around here, like, I've learned so much about Ruger. It's really cool. To me, this is an introduction of you and who you are. You have, call it a plethora of guns with a lot of different stories. I would like to capture some of those stories and talk about one specific gun, you know, or maybe even do 2 or 3. Are you interested? Okay. So I look forward to future videos with Steve because he truly has, I'm telling you, amazing guns and amazing stories with those guns. And that's what Rugged Tactical is all about. It's been a truly great experience, and I just want to thank you. Remember to like and subscribe. Pull the trigger on that bell icon. We'll catch you in the next round.
Catch you in the next round.
That's right.
We'll do that. We'll see you.
Okay. Be safe. Thanks for watching.